welcome again. I want to talk to you today about a concept that if you grab it, understand it, and incorporate it to your life, it could make a huge positive impact on it. It could even transform your life. It is a concept also that is like a door to another dimension, and then you can comprehend better other themes that I want to talk to you about it later on. Is the concept of responsibility. Responsibility. It sounds a bit like commitment, something like reduce our liberty, our freedom. Well, it's not, quite the opposite. I invite you to explore this concept as responsibility, the ability to respond, to choose your response. I live surrounded by animals. I watch animals every single day, and it is very difficult for me to find arguments that support or reasons that support the argument that we humans are better than animals. It's not that I'm looking also for those kinds of arguments. What I want to say is that when I pay attention to my senses, which are the ones through I perceive the world and helps me to build my reality, I discover that there is always an animal there that has any particular sense much more developed than we humans, and consequently that animal can elaborate a world much more profound and sophisticated than we humans. Any animal has some abilities that we don't have. So what abilities do we have? What abilities we have that animals don't? One of the most important ones has to be this one, the ability to respond, to choose our response. Animals respond to a particular stimulus in a particular way. Do they have any freedom of choice? I don't know, maybe. But if that was the case, it would be a very small one, a stimulus and maybe 2 or 3 responses. And what about us, humans? Curiously, we tend to do the same. Someone yells at you in the street, insult you, and what do? You might insult him back, or decide to ignore him and walk a bit faster. 9 of 10 people in humankind probably chooses one of these 2 responses. Do we have more options? Of course we do. We have thousands of options. And all I am telling you is that you pay attention, you become conscient, aware of that space, that time that exists between stimulus and response. That time is yours. So explore it, stretch it, make it longer. Okay, one example. The smoker that decides to quit smoking or just to smoke less. The moment that person takes that decision, becomes constantly more aware of that space between stimulus and response. Stimulus, nicotine, calling you, smoke. Response, you light up a cigarette. Time between a stimulus and response, 5-10 seconds. Okay, the person that is trying to smoke less, instead of responding by lighting a cigarette, can put in his mouth or her mouth a toothpick or a chupa chups, a chewing gum, or he can go for a walk. 1,000 responses. I am telling you that anything that happens to you during the day, you got 1,000 possible responses to choose from. Give yourself time, especially if what happens to you is a problem or a tragedy or a quarrel, or you are not having a good day. Well, especially if you are not having a good day, just wait. Take your time. You don't have to respond with an insult to another one. You don't even need to respond. Well, the moment that you become aware of this, are conscious about the time between stimulus and response, and you make a habit of that consciousness, then you are opening the door to this other dimension. Then you will discover that you have the power in your hand of changing your character like this, if you wish to do so. You want to be happier, more compassive, to have a smile ready for everyone? Yes, you can do it from now, right now. You will recognize that the men and women that made history, famous people, many of them, they knew about this power of responding, and they were the ones that thought about it and chose the response more adequate or more original to whatever events were happening at the time or happened to him, to her. You will understand that sentence that says, behind tragedy lies the opportunity. Yes, the opportunity for those who don't rush, think, and choose the more adequate response to that new set of circumstances after a tragedy or after a new event. You will understand what Eleanor Roosevelt said, that no one can hurt you if you don't allow it, because no matter what happens to you, you have that space to protect you, that you can stretch that space. It's like no one can hurt you. What do we call it, that space? The space in which you decide, in which you choose, in which you prepare your response to the world, in which you cook your behavior. What is called freedom. Freedom. Control that space, and you will control yourself, and you'll be a free man or a free woman. And that's all for now. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that you are thinking about it, because as I told you, it can make a huge impact on your life. It could even transform it. And if it doesn't transform it anyway, thanks for listening, because without you there, I would be what I'm doing here. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next one.